The sun cast a soft glow over the forest as the day began to wane into evening. The distant rustling of leaves filled the air, accompanied by the occasional chirp of a bird. Buddha sat under the shade of a Bodhi tree, his serene presence calming all nearby. His disciples gathered around him, eager to listen and learn from his wisdom. I approached slowly, hesitant to disturb the tranquility of the moment. The worries of my heart felt heavy, and I longed for relief. The Buddha gestured for me to sit, his eyes full of compassion and understanding. "What troubles your mind?" he asked gently, his voice as calm as a still lake. I hesitated before speaking, unsure if my feelings were worthy of sharing. "Master," I began, "I feel lost when I am alone. My thoughts overwhelm me, and I feel a deep loneliness." The words tumbled out of my mouth, carrying the weight of my struggle. Buddha nodded, his expression thoughtful and patient. "Solitude is a gift," he said, his voice soothing my unrest. "It is an opportunity to connect with your true self." His gaze turned to the tree under which we sat. "Do you see how this tree stands alone? Strong and unwavering? It draws strength from its roots and grows towards the sky." I followed his gaze, observing the tree's sturdy trunk and graceful branches. The leaves danced gently in the breeze, a testament to its resilience. "To be alone is not to be empty," Buddha continued, "but to be full of the essence of life." His words resonated, though my heart still carried uncertainty. "But Master," I asked, "how do I find peace in the silence? How do I quiet my restless mind?" Buddha smiled, his presence radiating warmth and reassurance. "The mind, like water, becomes clear when undisturbed," he said. "Still your thoughts, and clarity will emerge." The wind whispered through the grove, carrying the scent of earth and leaves. Buddha gestured for me to close my eyes and breathe deeply. "Feel the air as it fills your lungs," he instructed. "Let your breath anchor you to the present moment." I followed his guidance, inhaling slowly and exhaling with purpose. The rhythm of my breath began to soothe my racing thoughts. "The present moment is a sanctuary," Buddha said. "When you dwell in it, the burdens of the past and future dissipate." As I focused on my breath, the sounds of the forest grew more vivid. The rustling leaves, the singing birds, and the distant murmur of a stream became a symphony of peace. The man shook his head, bewildered, seeking a rebuttal but finding his words unable to contend with the serenity before him. "You think yourself above others," the man accused, reverting to resentment as his ego flailed in the absence of strength. "When you realize your interconnectedness with all beings, solitude transforms into harmony." I pondered his words, sensing a shift within me as I embraced their truth. The boundaries of myself seemed to dissolve, replaced by a sense of unity with the world. Buddha reached down and picked up a fallen leaf, holding it gently in his hand. "This leaf, though apart from the tree, is still a part of nature," he said. "Its journey continues as it returns to the earth, nourishing new life." He placed the leaf on the ground, its stillness embodying his teaching. I watched the leaf with newfound appreciation, seeing it as a symbol of impermanence and connection. "Master," I said, "I understand now that solitude is not a void but a state of wholeness." Buddha smiled, his eyes reflecting his approval and encouragement. "You have begun to see the essence of the teaching," he said. "Embrace solitude as a mirror to your soul." His words lingered in the air like a melody, resonating deeply within me. The forest seemed to echo his wisdom, its stillness amplifying his message. The sun dipped lower, casting a golden light that illuminated the grove. The disciples sat in quiet reflection, their hearts touched by Buddha's words. I felt a newfound serenity, my earlier doubts replaced by a sense of purpose and peace. "Solitude is an art," Buddha concluded, his voice imbued with gentle strength. "It is the practice of being fully present with yourself." His words carried the weight of truth, guiding me towards a path of self-discovery and inner harmony. The evening deepened, and the forest embraced us in its quiet embrace. The journey within had begun, illuminated by the light of Buddha's wisdom. When faced with anger or harm, respond not with hatred but with wisdom, for this is the path to peace. The villagers bowed their heads, the resonance of the teachings settling like seeds in soil ready for nourishment. Buddha walked ahead, his steps steady and unhurried, his demeanor a beacon of calm. The disciples followed in silence, their hearts contemplative, their minds eager to absorb the lessons awaiting them. The evening deepened, stars now scattered like jewels across the velvet sky. The gathering disbanded, each disciple carrying the Buddha's teachings like a flame illuminating their path. Buddha greeted the hermit with a bow, his presence radiating respect and kindness. The hermit motioned to a place near the fire, inviting everyone to sit. As they settled, the disciples gazed curiously at the hermit, intrigued by his life alone in the mountains. One of the disciples broke the silence. "Hermit, do you not feel lonely living here with no one to keep you company?" he asked earnestly. The hermit chuckled, his laughter a melody of joy and understanding. "Loneliness comes only to those who believe they are separate from the world," he replied. The disciples exchanged glances, unsure of the hermit's meaning. Buddha turned to them, his voice gentle yet resonant. "The hermit sees truth that many miss," he began. "To live alone does not mean to be disconnected. It means to be connected in deeper ways." The hermit nodded in agreement, his gaze thoughtful. "In the sound of the wind, I hear the voices of the earth," he said. "In the silence of the night, I find the vastness of existence." His words carried the weight of profound experience, his life a testament to his beliefs. The fire crackled softly, its warmth embracing the group as the conversation deepened. "Master," another disciple asked, "how can solitude bring such peace when most find it unbearable?" Buddha smiled, his expression patient and filled with understanding. "Solitude is an opportunity to listen," he explained. "Listen not to the noise of the world, but to the truth within yourself." He gestured to the mountain around them. "This mountain stands in solitude, yet it supports countless lives. Its silence holds endless teachings." The disciples pondered these words, their minds striving to grasp their meaning. Buddha continued, his voice blending with the mountain's calm. "Loneliness arises from clinging to the idea of separateness. Release that, and solitude becomes a gateway to wholeness." The disciples murmured softly among themselves, the lesson resonating differently for each listener, yet deeply for all present. "But Master," the disciple asked, "is light enough to overcome the darkness cast by those who act without compassion?" "Light," the Buddha said, "is the truth within your heart, unshakable if nurtured, impervious to harm when illuminated by wisdom." "Master, are these channels the habits we form and the thoughts we entertain?" Buddha's smile widened, his eyes twinkling with approval. "Yes, and science now speaks of this truth as neuroplasticity, the reshaping of the brain through experience." Buddha spoke again, his tone serene yet firm. "Solitude is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is the space to see yourself clearly, to understand your true nature." His words resonated deeply, their simplicity carrying profound wisdom. The sky above began to shift, the colors of dusk painting the horizon in hues of orange and pink. The disciples sat in quiet reflection, their hearts touched by the lessons of the day. The hermit poured water into a cup, offering it to Buddha with a humble gesture. Buddha accepted the cup, his gratitude unspoken yet palpable. He held the cup before the group, using it to illustrate his teachings. "This cup," he said, "may seem empty, but it holds space. It holds potential for what it can contain." The disciples nodded slowly, their understanding growing with each word. Solitude is like this cup, Buddha continued. It is not the absence of companionship, but the presence of infinite possibility. Trust, the Buddha said, is fragile, yet repairable when nurtured with sincerity, understanding, and actions rooted in kindness. But Master, the disciple asked, if trust cannot be restored, does peace still remain possible? Peace, the Buddha replied, is not dependent on others, but grows within the heart, choosing freedom from resentment and harm. The stillness of the moment enveloped them, transforming the mountain into a sanctuary of wisdom. The hermit leaned back, his contentment evident, his life a living example of solitude's beauty. The moon began to rise, its silver light illuminating the grove in a gentle glow. Buddha stood, his presence commanding yet humble, signaling that the time had come to continue their journey. The disciples rose with him, their hearts carrying the lessons imparted by both the hermit and their teacher. The hermit bowed, his respect for Buddha profound, his gratitude unspoken yet understood. Buddha returned the gesture, his eyes filled with compassion. Thank you, friend, for sharing your wisdom with us, he said. May your solitude continue to be your strength. The disciples followed Buddha down the mountain, the path winding like the lessons within their hearts. As the sun set, the echoes of wisdom lingered like whispers carried by the breeze, promising peace to those who listened. Another day, the Buddha journeyed to a distant village where the fragrance of blossoming trees mingled with the hum of life. A disciple named Javaka approached the Buddha, his eyes filled with concern, seeking answers to a lingering turmoil within. Master, Javaka began, his voice trembling, I struggle with individuals who manipulate and deceive, causing harm to others and myself. Another day, another journey of profound discovery had come to an end. Another day, another gathering by the riverside brought Buddha and his disciples to a serene location surrounded by blooming lotuses. The water glistened under the sun, reflecting the vivid colors of the flowers in a mesmerizing display. Buddha sat on a small rise by the river, his presence calming the restless hearts of those around him. Look into the water, Javaka, the Buddha instructed, his voice calm, like a steady breeze brushing gently against the mind. Javaka obeyed, his gaze resting on his reflection, distorted slightly by the faint ripples moving across the pond's surface. She stepped forward hesitantly, her voice trembling as she spoke. Master, I am surrounded by silence in my life, and I feel unbearably alone, she said. Buddha listened, his gaze full of compassion, as he held a lotus flower in his hand. This lotus, he began, grows from mud, yet it rises above, untouched and pure. He extended the flower toward her, its delicate petals a testament to resilience and beauty. Your life may feel rooted in difficulty, but you can rise above, untainted by your struggles. The woman nodded slowly, her heart stirred by his words. Though her sorrow remained, Buddha placed the lotus gently back into the water, its movement rippling the surface like the flow of his teachings. Solitude, he continued, is not the absence of others, but the presence of your true self. It is a state of discovery. But Master, he asked, how does one act with compassion toward those who harm others without enabling their destructive behavior? Compassion, the Buddha said, is a guiding light, showing the path toward understanding while setting boundaries against actions that cause harm. Javaka nodded, the clarity of the pond now mirrored in his mind as he grasped the depth of the Buddha's words. The length of days is determined by the weight of your thoughts. Lighten your heart, and time will flow effortlessly. Compassion shines brighter when faced with the absence of light, but does compassion not leave one vulnerable to repeated harm? Javaka asked, his voice tinged with lingering uncertainty. See how the river flows, he said. Though alone, it carries life with it, nurturing and creating wherever it goes. Master, Javaka said, if one acts with compassion but harm continues, is it wise to sever ties with those who harm? Severing ties, the Buddha replied, can be an act of compassion, allowing both to heal without the continued exchange of suffering. But how does one find peace after such separation? Javaka asked, seeking assurance amidst the complexities of relationships and pain. Loneliness stems from the illusion of separation, but solitude reveals the truth of interconnectedness. You are never truly alone. The woman lifted her head, her sorrow beginning to transform into curiosity, her heart slowly opening to his teachings. A gentle breeze carried the scent of lotus blossoms through the air, enveloping the group in its calming embrace. Is it wrong, Javaka asked, to wish for those consequences to bring awareness to those who cause harm? Awareness, the Buddha said, arises not from punishment but from understanding. Wishing harm upon others nourishes resentment, not wisdom. The woman stepped forward again, her voice steadier than before. Master, how can I embrace this interconnectedness you speak of while alone in my quiet home? She asked. Buddha picked up another lotus, holding it delicately between his fingers as he answered, meditate on the cycle of life. As this lotus returns to the water, nourishing the earth below, connection surrounds you. He placed the lotus back into the river, its movement spreading ripples that touched the banks on either side. Solitude, he said, is a sanctuary where the mind becomes still, and the heart recognizes the infinite connections within existence. The disciples absorbed his teachings, their thoughts shifting toward reflection and understanding. The sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the gathering as the river reflected its golden hues. Buddha spoke again, his voice carrying the weight of his wisdom. Turn your solitude into a source of strength, a wellspring of clarity where peace can flourish, he said. Release your sorrow and embrace the fullness of your being. The woman bowed deeply, tears streaming down her face, her expression one of gratitude and renewal. Her heart felt lighter, her mind clearer, as Buddha's words reshaped her perspective on solitude. Buddha lifted the lamp again, its light steady despite the wind. This flame shares its nature with the stars, the sun, and even the spark within your hearts. Buddha stood, his presence commanding yet humble, signaling the end of his teachings for the day. The disciples rose with him, their spirits uplifted, their minds enriched by his wisdom. Buddha gestured toward the woman, his gaze filled with encouragement as he spoke to her one last time. You have begun a journey within, he said, guided by the light of understanding. Let it lead you toward inner peace. The woman nodded, her determination strengthened, her heart resolved to embrace solitude with newfound strength. It is never static, always in motion, always connected. The child smiled, her small hand retreating as she absorbed the lesson. Another day, another journey of profound discovery had come to an end, its teachings echoing like ripples through their hearts. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.